Hi there, this is David Dettmann, and I'd like to welcome you to the webinar. We're going to get started shortly. Just waiting for a few more people to come in. I did have this video loaded, but when I restarted the screen, so I'm just going to buff this. Just in the chat box, just let us know whether you can see the screen and hear me. Tell me where you're from. If you could just type a Y in the chat box, just so I know you can hear me and see the screen, it'd be good. Thank you. Excellent. Got people coming in late as usual, so we might have to set the webinar time earlier. But anyway, I'd like to welcome everyone coming in. We'll be getting started in about a minute. All right, just a few more people coming in. On tonight's webinar, we're going to be talking about Facebook groups. I'm also going to show you this software for the, what's the site? I don't have my notes up in front of me, so I'm just going to have a look on the other screen. I'll go through the list of things. I'm also going to show you how my Twitter's growing using the Twin software. There's been a few toolbar updates, so we're going to cover that. Also, I've added quite a bit to the Saturday Night Live site, and yeah, the ULite hits bot. With that, I haven't tested it yet. I've only just sort of got it working. So I don't want to give it out to you guys until we sort of make sure it works well. My experience so far is it's only a new software, so it's a little bit user-friendly. However, the people who built the software are communicating via email, so it's not like I've bought a product which I'm not getting any support on. So yeah, I only got the license today to use it, which was my fault because I forgot to send across my details to them after purchasing it. So, all right, well, I'll start this video. This is just a funny video. I thought I'd put on a mood going in the room, so hope you like this one.
Hello there, I'm a kitty kitty. When they meow, I sound creepy. Meow, 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 meow. Come on down, take a look. See my picture on Facebook. Hey, hey, ready for my sale, and now waiting for your mail. Mail, mail. Purchase limit on the sleeve, right back home and come to see. When they move, I'm the star. Oh, you. I'm the best. I'm the black. Go ahead and start the clock. About me. I am this one, that's my work. I'm on social network. Social network. I will move and I'm fast. And I love internet.
Okay, so this is Saturday Night Live. For those people who don't know me, I'm David Dettmann. I'm broadcasting from my farm in Australia, so you will hear some background noise. I've tried to silence them with some food, but they always come around at the wrong time. Anyway, for those people in Australia, you may know that Qantas has been grounded. Those people outside Australia, they're our main airline. So I just thought I'd put this picture up if you've been following it. Pretty much our main airline has been grounded due to union disputes. So the airline has grounded itself. Anyway, moving. Like I was saying earlier, we're going to be covering Facebook groups, Twitter group growth, the toolbar updates, the Saturday Night Live site updates, and I'll show you the You Like It Spot software. Okay. Now, Facebook groups. Let's try to work out what's going on this slide. For some reason, not everything's on this slide. Good way to start. Anyway, Facebook groups have changed, and they changed before a lot of the changes, so a lot of people are familiar with them. However, there has been the odd feature being added here and there. One of the things I do is use Facebook groups to broadcast webinars to people in social networking or multi-level marketing. It really comes down to what you want to do, what you're trying to sell, to what sort of groups you join. It's another way to also make contacts with people in the type of business you're in. So I think that's the end of that slide. So I'll go into the groups. Bear with me. Now, if you're using the toolbar, the quickest way to get to the groups is go to Home. Okay, and groups will be down the left side, right here. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll show you my group, which has been around for some time. It was an old group, it's been converted to a new group, but not every group has been converted. So if we go into my group, as you can see, my details are down this side. This has nothing to do with the group. Now, pretty much all I do with this group, and I should be doing more with it as the membership's growing all the time, is I put the announcements in here and I allow people to put quotes in here. I will pull out spam out of it. So if you are a group owner, you've got to be aware which, if you invite people to the group, you may find which some of those people tend to spam. I mean, with the policy with groups, the best way to go about it is to put in relevant stuff to the type of group. Like, there's no point me going and advertising on a group of, let's use an example, stay-at-home mums who have no intention of working, they just want to look after their family, like, and it's a family tips group. Like, what would be the point in me trying to advertise this webinar in that group? Now, with quotes, you can pretty much put quotes in any groups depending on the policy of the group too, because, you know, like I say, I can go in here and, if you're a group owner, I do let some things through if they're relevant. As you can see, you know, people quotes in here. And sometimes they put things about social networking, and I think, well, I'll let it slide through. I mean, then you get things like this. You know, see whether you're ranked. So if I wanted to get rid of this, as a group owner, I could delete the post or report. Depending on what it is, I usually just delete unless it's blatant spam. Now, at the time, it didn't bother me. I'm just using this one as an example. Now, the other thing you should do with groups too, which I haven't done, is you should have other admin. And that goes for Facebook pages as well. Because if something happens to your Facebook account and you've got someone else on the admin who's a trust, you go to set up a new Facebook account, you can pretty much get put back on your own group admin or page admin. Okay, so it's pretty much the group as far as an owner goes. Yeah, as far as the members go, I can make, like I was saying, I can make anyone admin in here. Okay. Alright, I can remove them as well if I wanted to. So if someone continuously spams, I can just go in and move them. Alright. You can block people. So you can do all that type of thing. I'll just go back to the wall. Okay, so you got your members, you got photos, you can put documents as well. So, since I can't even remember what's in the photos. Okay, so, I mean, these are just my posts, alright? These are other people's posts, right? And you can moderate those as well. Yeah, documents, we don't have any in this group, I don't think. But you can create a document. Okay, so has anyone got any questions about the sort of admin side of a group? Because I want to move on to how to post in groups, what sort of groups to pick. So we've got a few people coming while I've been talking. I'd like to welcome everyone. Okay, no questions. I just let people know too, Kath's not going to be doing the Saturday night webinars for a couple of weeks due to a school training. She's studying and trying to stay focused on her training, so she'll be back after that. I'm just not sure when, in the next few weeks anyway. She definitely wasn't doing this one, so if she's got the time, she will. But that's why Kath's not here tonight, in case people are wondering. All right. So we go back to our groups. Now over here, like I say, you get your groups listed here. Now, to see them all, this page. I mean, that's a place you could put some quotes if you're a group owner, or you could, depending on the settings, other people can post documents in there as well. So these are my groups. All right, now what I might do is I'll show you one example. We'll go into YouTube and show you how to post video from YouTube across to a group. This video is very effective. So you would have heard me tell you that before. By the way, last week's video is up. I had a lot of trouble getting it up this week. So all you do is copy the location. This sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't. Okay, so I might go down to a group like this one. Yesterday's alright. Alright, so if I go to a blogging group, I'll go to another tab. Now this group has 1,074 members, so it's a pretty active group. I posted in it yesterday on my post. Okay, there's my post for the webinar. Right. Now I've got my location as well. There. Now, as you can see, I haven't put anything but that link in there. Now, sometimes this doesn't work and it plays up, but you can see what I've done with the YouTube is if we go into the edit info, this is something you need to think about when you're going to post videos. See, I should have more keywords than that. I don't even have any tags on this one. But I've kept it fairly simple, and I've put in the link for the next webinar because my webinars have all got the same link now. So when I post it, what's going to happen, as you can see, that's come straight from there. Look, it's got the link right there. Now the only problem is people click Facebook page and view this video, this information will go away. So it's the only thing. But if people just want to go after me, they want to go across or they want to see it on YouTube, they can do that. They can play it. Right, see how it opens out. Oh, I'm going to pause it. I'm not going to sit here and watch it. Okay, but you can see how simply it comes out, it plays. That's a very effective way in any business to go through and put videos in. Like if you've got help videos, whatever your business is, say you're selling products and you wanted to show people the selling, you can do a video on YouTube and then you can come through to targeted groups. Say you're selling shoes, for instance, sports shoes. You could come through, have a video demo on the sports shoes you're selling, go to groups, health and fitness groups, and post those videos. It's a very effective way of getting people to videos, because there's so much spam in groups. I can only tell people what to do, and other people who, you know, have experienced it can only tell people. But a lot of people who are new just go through and put opportunities all day long into groups and wonder why no one clicks them. You sort of get this tunnel vision when you've been marketing online for a while, or where you just don't focus. When a video comes up, you're more likely to use that video and have a look at it. I mean, you look at this group, there's no real videos in here. Okay? Now this blog post here, sometimes I do it directly from YouTube, and other times, sorry for flashing the screen, but sometimes I just decide to put the blog post in because I do get the right pictures come up. We'll go to that. And I'll show you another example. We'll go to another blog on how to do posts from your blog directly on. They are effective depending on what content you've got naturally. It's a Saturday Night Live blog. No, only new. As you can see, it's taking you to information which I wanted it to go to. Hasn't taken it to the main page or anything. Right, so, I mean, that is effective. Some of you may have come here to this webinar tonight through this method. Right, if I go to home, and we'll pick something else to post. It's a bit slow today. If you've got any questions as I go along, I've got the questions box open. Okay, for instance, if I wanted to, so that's not a good example because videos won't come up. You've got to have pictures, but I could, or I'll do it anyway, I'll show you. If I grab the link, okay, to this one, okay, I put this on here so you got people who missed it can always come in. Hi Jerry, who's trying to steal the roosters? Oh, Goannas. I was trying to steal them, not today, but luckily, so they'll all be clucking. Alright, so if I pick another group, business opportunities. This one. Yeah, this will either work or it won't, and hopefully it won't work, so I can show you the other way to do it. Actually, what we might do, okay, I'll put the link in, but what I'm going to do as well, so I might just put that in. We'll bring it up. See, I've got a problem with this code here at the moment, which I've got to deal with. It wasn't doing it, and now it's doing it. So this is the other alternative. So I put that information in, and then I post it. You can pick the picture you want to do, depending on how many pictures are on your page. Let's put the chicken there. By doing things like this, you'd be surprised. I'll probably get quite a few people click this. Now, I could have put a picture of a cat or something up there, like on the blog. If I really wanted to promote it, I could probably find that somewhere on the internet or something similar and put it in the blog, and then it will come up. But that's how you post blogs. Right, now the other thing you can do is post quotes. But just keep in mind, which it should be relevant. I mean, this isn't that relevant, but it's the same thing. It's just something funny. It's a bit like a quote. So what you can do, there's two ways to do this. Let's go to the motivation section. Okay. Go to one of these sites. Find something. Okay, let's do a leadership quote. All right, we'll grab this one here. Now you can just go in to groups. This is another way to attract people. It's not one of my favourite ways, but it seems to work, so I'm not going to knock things which work. Just like, personally, I don't mind quotes every day from everyone. But, you know, like it does work. We'll pick one which we've already done. Yeah, this is a good one. Creating happy. Right, so this is I mean, any groups that are appropriate for this, but you can just do a quote like that. All right. Now the other way to do it, which people tell me seems to work better, is to go to your Facebook. It's on profile or home, I can't remember. Notes, okay. Okay, write a note. These are ones I've done in the past. Right, so I'll show you how to write one. I haven't done this for a while. I'm sure got Jerry co-hosting. He's good at this. We could just put, what we might do is, there's another trick you can do as well. All right, now, you want to put a picture in. You can do this on the toolbar. All right, switch this to images. Now, I have no idea what this person looks like, but this usually works if it's someone famous. I think we get more defined. Anyway, the other thing you could do is you could just pick a random sort of picture. I wouldn't put the wrong person in, but for instance, we could just go and take this picture, save image. open in here. What's the name of it? I'll just put demo. Alright. So we've done the picture. Here you go, back to Facebook. Ah, yeah. Well, who knows, Jerry? Okay, browse your pictures. I'll call it demo, didn't I? I gotta even put this one here. Oh no, it's not a picture. Right, you can put a caption if you wanted to. You can sort of mix it around, layout. Still put a heading. Just use this. Copy. And these methods I'm doing, you can do with pages as well, and you can put these on your own profile. Alright, so far this is the way we've set it up. We could fold this bit if we wanted, mix it around. Okay, you can probably just grab the photo and move it. I might just put it down the bottom. Okay, and then we can preview. Suppose we've got to preview it. So if we want to edit it, probably shouldn't go into too much detail, but it doesn't look right. Probably still won't look right. We'll do that. Moved it. Yeah. Just going to grab the code. Right, space it. Put the picture code in. I'll just publish it this time. Okay, so the picture's going in the middle. Should be to the side. But anyway, let's leave it like that. That's how you do a note. Anyway, that wasn't the intention of the webinar, but I knew we were going to cover it. So what you do now is that's the note. Grab that link. Go back to your groups. Let's go this one. Okay, whack it in. Okay, where did I get the picture code? I saved off my computer, then I put it on. The code which you may be referring to, if you go into edit, see this code, it was down here. Now, for some reason it's down there again. Like if I grab, for instance, that sample, it's my son, shaven like a woolly bull. There he is there as well, in the boat. See how I got that picture code came up? Does that clarify that? So if you're going to have more pictures, you would have that code there. Now that, and all I did was just move the code, right? Because at the moment the layout's got it down here. Yeah, I suppose if I do that, it might change it. I was just impatient. Now if you want to be really fussy, you could probably put some code in there to get it to the left, but that's going to complicate it for people. Okay, so this is the post. It hasn't brought the picture up for some reason. Oh, here it has. Okay, so it's brought the picture up. So I mean that looks nice in a group, and you can do that on a page. For instance, if we go back to my home, and we go back to my profile. Okay, it's on the profile, but if I was to do it again, I'd just put it in there. All right. So that's how you post the groups. I know it sounds fairly straightforward. The one thing I like about the changes to Facebook and their groups is you can see when you go to view all. So if we go back here, you'll notice things will change around. So if we go back to home, right, and if I go once again to groups and go to more, it shows the most recent groups which are posting up here, or the most recent I'm using, I'm not sure. Now you can see the ones I've used today. These are the ones we've used, okay? So they've moved up. So I've got an idea of where I'm posting. So if you post something each day, you can post to various different groups and then come back the next day. I used to hate it when I used to have to write down which ones I've been to and that. You can come back and see where you posted, all right, and at least post groups. The other thing you can get an idea of is, that's all right, Nelson, I'm not going to repeat everything. But welcome, wait's better than never. As you can see, you know, when I've last used them, now I did a real bash out last week on this, you can see. You can see ones I used a week ago, right? Now you've got this function of show older. Now, this is one of the things I wanted to discuss with you, is a lot of show older are not new groups. They're old groups which no one's bothered to convert over. So I don't know whether it's worth posting in them or not. I posted in a few last week just to see what would happen, but not much really. Saw much, but this is, let's see, okay, this is prime example. As I said, I posted in this one last week. Okay, this is the old group format. I hate when Firefox doubles my screen. See, it says this group is scheduled to be archived. Over the next few months. It's obviously had very little attention because naturally you would have done it. There are other people posting in here, but check this group. Okay, July 2 was the last post. Alright. These groups are probably not worth being in. I mean, look at the posts. These are my posts. May. March. All right. So what I need to do, and all you need to do this, is just to leave the group. All right. It's only got 122 members. I mean, small groups sometimes can be good. What it means, Nelson, is the group hasn't had any attention. It's an old group. Anyone who owns it and pretty much converted over, if you were the founder of this group, you could convert it over to a new group. Mine was like this when they first changed them over, and I naturally changed it over because you've got to keep with the pace. But the other thing is you can only be with 300 groups. I've told you guys who've known me for a while, that's the situation. Okay, Jerry said, I've stopped posting quotes. You get no responses. If you did a really good, unique note, you get some nice comments and responses. That's very true, Jerry. I'm not a big fan of quotes, but I know they do work to a point. Jerry and I have actually done a webinar on this before, so I know exactly where he's coming from. That webinar is on my YouTube too, by the way. It's still there. I'm a great believer in which there's nothing wrong with motivating people. I'm actually going to start a motivation site just simply because we've got too many videos on motivation, which I want to put out there for when people need a bit of motivation. But when you see it all day long, especially quotes, I just get tunnel vision personally. But I'm not saying which it doesn't work. I think Jerry's right in saying, well, if you do something which is unique, write your own stuff, people will start listening to you. So that's a very good point which Jerry's made. Okay. So this group's not worth being a member of. I did leave it, didn't I? Let's leave it again. Okay, now the other thing I want to cover with groups, we're not going to get to everything today, so we'll stick to the Facebook stuff if that's what you want. I'll just quickly run through the other stuff. Okay, so let's get out of this group. Oh, that's right. Page opened up on me. Okay, most of these down here are sort of dead groups. The other way you can probably do it is go like this, remove. But it'd be worth analysing the groups. All right. Okay, so it's taking that group out and refresh the page. The other thing you want to search groups. Let's go. Let's try this. I'm just curious. Oh, there's a Google Plus page. Interesting. I thought of doing a Google Plus page as I have the Google Plus website, learngoogleplus.org, and I thought I don't want to push it. Okay, but there's no groups. Let's just double check. Now search. Oh, yeah. They don't have many people. Now, when you join a group now, you have to ask to join. And it's kind of funny because I've joined one of the most members. Like this is a bad example. You wouldn't usually join a small group. Okay, the request is sent. All right. So anyone in this group, this is the weird thing, is anyone in this group can approve me. My name will come up. That's something I don't like about it. and I wouldn't recommend approving people in groups who you don't know, because it might come back to bite you. They might be a spammer, but usually that's what happens when someone wants to join a group. Anyone in the group can put them in. Okay, I'll just go back. What you want to do is you want to target groups in your niche. All right, so if someone wants to give me a sample, I'll put it in. Anyone want to do a search, or I'll do a search for them. Just type in the chat box. I need a whistle to wake you people up sometimes. Alright, well, I'll put in social networking. Suppose it could have been. Just type in the chat box. I need a whistle to wake you people up sometimes. Alright, well, I'll put in social networking. Suppose it could have been original, put in dog training. Okay, so you've got all these groups. I would, depending on the type of group it is and how small the niche is, I would go for groups probably over 500. Mind you, as you've seen, I've put myself into groups which are smaller because I believe they're worth doing. Now, the other thing you want to consider too when you do join these groups is, don't have any samples unless I go through all my groups. But let's say this is a group I'm a part of and you couldn't post in the group. That'd be probably a group I wouldn't go to unless I really wanted the information. Like sometimes you get invites to these groups and they don't allow people to post. And I can understand that because of the spam you get, but I believe you should have an open group if it's for prospecting. Some people choose when it's a team sort of group to have it closed because you can close off the group. Nelson's asking, how can you tell if they're not posting? Pretty much you won't see posts down here, and say I was a member of this group, it wouldn't have the thing here, right? We go to this group, right? I'll use mine as an example. See how we got the posting here, right? So if we go back, and I was a member and it didn't show up like this. Okay, I know I'm not a member yet of this group, so that's why I can't post. But some groups will show there's no posting here, only the admin can post. Alright. So with my group, like I was saying earlier, I just go in each day and I allow these types of things. I'm in this person's group. We post between groups all the time, so I'd let them post probably pretty much anything. But I tend to, anything which is really spammy, I just pull out. So if you are a group leader, and I recommend when you start a group, because you can have discussions as well. And that's another tip which the gurus give with groups. Ask a question. Or start a question. Add poll options. So Okay, I'll just put in yes, no. Okay, this is probably not the best thing to put in. I could ask people, do you like the Saturday Night Live webinars in here? Or do you like the topics we cover? Are the topics, is the format all right? And by the way, you can always tell me that as well. And here you can go to other groups. Let's go to another group. Oh, there's another thing you can do. See, this person put this crap in my group today. I hope they're not on my webinar. But having all this sort of stuff just doesn't do it for me. Okay, I mean, it is an advertising group too, but they did do it in my group. My group sort of says, do not advertise off topic. But I can ask a question in here, for instance, as a member. You can go for a whole lot of groups and do this and then go back. Okay, we could put a poll in as well. We'll just, in the demo, I'll just ask a question like that. It'll be interesting. So that's another feature you can do for groups. All right, now, like I say, what you want to do is go through your groups. Kids are getting a lot of posts. If you find which the groups, you see your own ads, months later, it's probably not a good group to be in unless people actually in a small group are going talking about what you're doing. That's when a small group helps, if it's an active group. Big groups sometimes, they can be just sort of to the point where there's so many people posting where people don't read it. So you've got to work out the balance. You've got to work out your niche, find groups in your niche. Now, you can also use these sort of principles across other type group products like Google Groups. Or we might cover Google Groups at one time. I'm going to go in and do a bit more research. I used to use them. I was on a webinar recently where they were using them and they were getting links back, like PR3 links back in certain tricky ways. So Google Groups is still active. All right, so I'll move on and I'll just sort of chat because we're running out of time. Move this screen. Has anyone got any questions? Here's another funny one I found this morning. The reason I spend so much time on Facebook is it's the only place I get poked. Okay, just to let people know, I won't run through it, but with the status of YouTube, Twitter, how I showed you last week with the Twin site, I'm now up to 3,527 followers. You're welcome, Jerry. Have a good Halloween too. Just to let people know before you do go, Jerry, I won't be doing any webinars for marketing survival skills for the training. For those people marketing survival skills. As the site has changed, I won't be doing any trainings. I may do guest trainings on social networking and that. I'm not leaving marketing survival skills. It's just with Mike coming back and Adam getting a bit more active and them changing the site around. I will simply be focusing on doing the social network training. So just simply because I don't have the time, I've got a business to run. I've been basically doing the trainings to help them out. So I just thought I'd let you guys know who, because there's quite a few members from Marketing Survival Skills on here. But I'm not saying I won't do a webinar for them or anything. And Kath won't be doing any webinars due to her training at the moment. This webinar, Nelson, is a webinar I now host. So it's not a Marketing Survivals webinar. It'll be on every week at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, US time. So I'll still be doing these trainings, but what I'm saying is I won't be doing the member trainings simply because there's so many changes coming up very shortly for you guys over there. And I've decided which it's a good time for me to focus on what I'm doing with Adam and Mike stepping up and doing training. So sort of fell into place at the right time, and I'll still be a member over there. And if they want me to do social network trainings every now and again for their webinars, I will do them. So I hope that answers your question. So I'm not leaving anything. I'm just focusing on the social networking side, which is the field I believe I can cater to better. So anyway, getting back to the twins, that's the status at the moment. I did remove a few people who weren't following me just to break it down a little bit. And I used, I'll very quickly show you on the toolbar, I used this site here. If you go into Twitter tools, if you don't have a way to remove people, use this Twitter Karma, because you can go through and see who's following you on that. That's the only reason I wanted to just quickly show you. I don't have time to do it today. And if it doesn't work the first time, give it a couple of goes. It does work well when it works, so that's a way to remove people not following you. A lot of people have automated ways. That's just a free way. Okay. Nelson, I probably won't be. I've got to speak to Mike about that. The two social network toolbar rooms they'll be posted in, and I will be posting them to people on Skype. You are locked in unless you unsubscribe to reminders of this webinar each week, and you can also join the mailing list if you're not on it, which I will bring up. So pretty much, like I say, I've got a few things I've got to chat to Mike about when he's free, but at the moment I'm just sort of posting in my own Skype rooms and my groups. These groups are all mine, by the way, so they will be posted on those. So pretty much if you're on one of my social networks, you'll get it, a reminder, and you'll get a reminder for signing up on the webinar. Okay, so I would recommend which people use the Twitter, the Twins site again. If you want how to use the Twins site, just go to the Saturday Night Live site. The recording's on there now. I just got it up yesterday. Okay, and for the time being, the Learn Google Plus site is still free. It'll be free for the next probably month, so get value out of that. And the Ulite Hits bot, I'll have more on that next week. I don't have time to show it, but I prefer to show it in more detail. All right, this is some funny pictures. All right, the site has been updated with the photos and the recordings. Have you got that up? There we go. So you can go into this site. I'm going to post the site up for you in the chat, for those who don't know it. And you can, Nelson, you can get this also. If you go to this link, you can go down here and subscribe to the email if you want to get other updates. In this particular email, autoresponder will only be sending out information about Saturday Night Live unless it's really important, so there won't be any promos for products or anything. All right. So you're already registered, you guys, so you don't ever have to come here. If you're not on the email, come here, because I will be putting stuff out earlier. Has anyone got any other questions? Like you can see the videos, video from last week, which was playing up if you want to see that again. Other videos we've done in the past. I don't have everything up like the Google. I was trying to find the other video we had for Google with Tom from MySpace as well, and I can't find it. So, but we've got the Google Plus one. That's a funny one. But as things go, I'm just going to put things, if you guys want things off here, you can take them off here. You're welcome to rip the videos and the pictures on here, because I've started putting in photos, videos used, because I'm using videos from YouTube which are allowed me. If people allow embed, that's an option with YouTube, that means you can post those videos. Okay, so on that note, I think we've got everything covered. We won't go through the social network toolbar. Most people on here know about it. My Skype ID, if you don't have that, is dcompanyau. Nelson, if you're not in those rooms and you want to be in those rooms or one of those rooms, just Skype me. You've got my Skype anyway. Most you do. And that's just the mailing list which I was talking about. So it covers everything. If you have any questions, just post them in now. Otherwise, we'll head off. Let you guys have a good weekend. I will be updating the toolbar as we speak this week. Just quickly, I know mine's not in order. The autoresponders are on here now. Confused, so I've got other things up. Okay, and some of the emails. If you want other stuff on here, let me know. The training is still in process of being moved. Okay, this one's out of date, I think. No, it's not out of date. Okay, you can see I've been moving the training into categories. Right, and the marketing survival skills training's going here as well, plus other trainings. But slowly, very slowly, we're getting everything moved. There's a lot of new links coming in. So you'll see things change around. All right, guys. Once again, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week. If you've got any questions, just get me on Skype. Nelson's got one last question. Do you have any training on ClickBank? Nelson, I've got some training on affiliate marketing, which is going on the toolbar. It's a training I've done, which is very effective. However, it does cost about $80, but it is excellent training. Like, it's worth every cent, and it's refundable as well. So, if you want, I will find that training for you. It's done. It's funny enough, it's done by another Australian. Andrew Hansen. I was on one of his webinars this week, and he doesn't usually do free webinars. He was just updating all the stuff to do with affiliate marketing. And he actually posts out products which are working and sites which are working and how to do it. It's an unbelievable training. For instance, I'm going to show you something right now before we go. I hope this still works. I was showing Danny, who's on this webinar the other day. They're in Google Plus. All right, which is a pretty hot topic. Now, it was on the first page of Google. It's moved down, but on Yahoo, go and search this. And this is a tip, one of the many tips I picked up from Andrew. And that's why I'm going to put his trainings on here. Just waiting for this search to load up. Now look at this. On Yahoo, all right, Learn Google Plus. I own learngoogleplus.org. I'm beating Google. All right. So I mean, there's a few ones coming out now. This site's only very brand new. Let's say this site's, what, 2 months old on Yahoo. And this is not an Australian search, this is a world. Well, that's right, I did. Not on Google, I didn't, but I learnt this, and that's why my trainings are going to have different domains. Okay? And I learnt this simply by a few tips. And it wasn't keywording, it was using relevant words like Learn Google Plus, having a domain which is similar. This domain which I got, it's got no weight as far as an old domain where you can virtually get listed anywhere. It's a brand new domain and it's beating. So I will be introducing and for people who want them, because that alone has built my business doing his trainings. Yeah, I own learnlinkedin.biz, is it? Yeah. That's not even up yet, but I'm doing a lot of things, and all I'm using is these WordPress blogs. All right, so you just saw the Saturday Night Live WordPress blog, and if you want to look at the theme, go down here on the toolbar. Okay, Andrew recommends this theme here. Thesis, but it's a paid theme. The flexibility, which is what Learn Google Plus is running on, I'll show you it, which is very custom. I've shown you guys these on webinars before, but I'm using this theme. It's free, but you get there in the bottom code, you get there a link back to their site. It's $50 if you want to license it. All right, but yeah, everything on this is custom. Okay, this is just a very basic one I did for this. All right, I can take all this out. So you can, if you want a good theme which free, which ranks well, that was the other tip, to use this theme if I didn't want to buy one. And if you do buy this theme, by the way, as you can see how they got their flexibility down here. That's all it's got on it, so it's linking back to them. But if you want to buy it, it's $50 to take it off, and you can use it for multiple blogs. It's not just one blog at a time. You've got to pay it. And if you're a developer, they've got a developer's license. But so I can, if I pay my $50, I can pull that off all the themes I'm using, and all mine are now on flexibility. Okay, if you go to, I know we're running late, guys, but you all seem to want me to keep going. Now, I had a bit of problems with this one. We go to the training. So this one's not switched on, but it's on my blog. This is also a flexibility theme, and this is just another example how you can use it. I had this built on Fiverr for $5. Okay, that bit there. If you don't want to build your own banner, you can see how I've used it a bit different colours. I've got different bars. The only problem I have with this one, and I think it's because of my Yahoo hosting on this. Right, it has moved down. Because this is not in the right space for some reason, but I converted my old theme, which was very similar to this, across, and it allowed me to put in the headers and all that. Yes, that's right. I'm only going to be doing Saturday trainings for free. When I'm opening courses, I will be doing other trainings for the week. I have my own GoToMeeting hosting, so I can always pull out a training at any time. So this GoToMeeting is mine, not marketing survival skills. All right, guys, on that note, there's a few extra tips for you guys who stayed on, and I'll see you on the next webinar. Thanks again for coming.